Bro, I just ran Windows 7 inside GitHub Codespaces, and it actually boots like a real PC. But before you try this, there are a few important things you need to know. This video is strictly for educational purposes, and I strongly recommend using a temporary GitHub account, because this is not meant for personal or long-term use. Now, imagine this. You're not downloading Windows, you're not installing a virtual machine, but you're actually running a Windows-like environment directly inside your browser using GitHub. Let me show you how I did it. First, I go to the Docker Windows repository on GitHub. I scroll down carefully because most people miss the important option here, and I find Open in Codespaces. I click it, and then I'm asked to choose a configuration. I select my setup depending on what's available, and then I click Create Codespace. After that, you don't really do anything except wait. Behind the scenes, GitHub starts setting everything up. It downloads system images, extracts files, installs drivers, and prepares the entire environment. This takes a few minutes, so you just have to be patient, and most importantly, don't close the tab or everything will reset. After a while, I get a prompt saying Open in Browser, and when I click it, I'm taken into a full Windows-like GUI running directly inside my browser. At this point, the system continues loading and setting everything up, just like a real installation. It downloads components, extracts files, installs virtual drivers, and configures the system. After around 10 minutes, the setup completes and Windows finally boots up successfully. The installation process looks just like a normal PC setup, and then it finishes and takes me to the desktop. Now I check the system performance, and surprisingly, it shows around 8 GB of RAM allocated, which is actually decent for a cloud environment like this. Then I try the real test. I attempt to install and run a browser inside this Windows setup, but after wasting some time, I realize it doesn't really work properly. I wasn't able to download or run any browser smoothly inside this Windows 7 environment. So here's the honest conclusion. If you just want to experience old Windows vibes and explore how it feels, then this setup is actually fun to try. But if your goal is real usage, like browsing the internet or installing apps, then this Windows 7 setup is not suitable. Instead, if you actually want to use a browser or do real work inside Codespaces, you should choose Windows 10 or other more supported environments, because they are much more stable. Also remember, GitHub Codespaces has time limits, and it is not designed for long-running operating systems, so don't rely on it as a permanent solution. That's basically how I turned GitHub into a Windows-like environment. If you enjoyed this experiment, I've got more crazy tech setups coming soon. See you in the next one!